You just need to accept it, and let's hear from you, then we'll let everybody know. So Karen, if it's showing, can you let them answer? Please, you just need to accept it. The first question, if you can see the question. All right, it's on now. Did you know you can have a separate group life policy from individual policy? Yes or no? So let's get the fastest finger by way of starting today's session. Let's get some RPK, our previous knowledge, before we start the session. Okay, so please let's see your answers. Let's see, so you just submit. We'll just let you know. Okay, so 83% are saying yes. Wonderful, 17 people disagree with that. Okay. Karen, are you able to tell how many people have responded or voted? All right, so let's get some 3 more people to do that. I'm sure we can have more people to add to the 17. Okay. So just accept it and let's see how many people will get it right. So thank you for participation. We are done with the first one. We'll pick a quick testimonial. I'll come back to introduce our speaker and the host company. So team, let's see the first testimonial ad whilst I wrap up to come back to introduce the speaker. If it's ready. My executive producers, are we having some challenge?
Ayuku, presidents of the 1994 Old Achimotana Association.
If you can increase the volume.
The group alumni policy through the Assure advisors. And I must say that since we joined years ago, it's been a fantastic kind of experience for us. The speed by which they process our claims, the customer experience, the fact that they keep
that thing can easily go into my eye, so please stop rolling it.
How the policies are doing and how we are also faring as a group is something
I think we can
really
hardly hear.
We want to encourage all other alumni, all other year groups to sign up to this policy. Before signing up, when there's any challenge or issue, we have to contribute as a group. But since we joined, all we have to do is just file a claim, and within a week or some few days, we're able to receive our check. So we only present the check to the member. Yes, and we are very, very happy about this, and we want to encourage other groups to join. We are grateful to Enterprise Life and Assure Advisors for this wonderful policy, and we hope it will go a very long way to help support our needs. As we grow up, challenges and our requests are many, quite numerous.
We'll cross out the lights,
such
yeah?
a policy, such a package, we want to take care of a lot of, especially our health the challenges and when a member is bereaved. So we are very grateful and want to encourage other groups to join. Thank you very
much. Okay. Apologies. I think I have two concerns. Most people are saying they couldn't hear. Maybe we can reshare the video on the various platforms for us. We apologize for that. Someone also made a very genuine concern that we had a Christian prayers. We're supposed to have, we give opportunity to the other religion. So I can assure you that maybe we'll have a Muslim prayer after the session. Yeah, so apologies for that. The quality of sound is also not good. We promise to work on it. All right. So a bit about the company you know already. This session is being handled by Assured Advisors Company Limited. It's an insurance intermediary firm we know, started in 2017 with a vision to have a strategic partnership with almost major insurance company. It's been a very strategic partner in coming out with various products. Notable of this is the alumni product with Enterprise Life Insurance Company. And they have successful sales agent who has been providing quality solution to various customers. And they do this with Enterprise Life being the major underwriter for this partnership. So these are the two giants coming together to serve you this afternoon. Quickly, I would like to introduce the resource person for this afternoon to lead the discussion for us. Thomas is someone who have been through all the various operations of the business, moving from customer service, from an officer through the head of department, managing the claims department to understand what customers want and what they also dislike. Thomas has also gotten some international exposure, joining a very good team to continue a startup company for it to grow both in quality and quantity, and now coming back to be a senior manager in charge of corporate business for the largest insurance company in Ghana. Thomas is very much involved when it comes to group business and group life insurance. He's here today to share his opinion and also give us details about what we need to know, especially in these times of our economy. So we call him Omasa for short. And I know this is old students, so everybody wants to recall the good old days. So in Enterprise Life, we call him Omasa. Omasa, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself, sir?
Hi, Enoch. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. If you can make him the host so that everybody can see him, or you spotlight him. All right.
Yes, and if the screen share can be unlocked so I can share.
Okay. So Doreen, Karen, my executive producers, can you help us fix this?
All right. Enoch, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see from my end. I can see your outline. If someone can also confirm using the chat box. Please, if you can see, just let us know. Use your chat box. Let's see if you can also. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
All right. So
okay, the full name is Thomas Fiano. Thomas
yes.
Fiano. Thank you very much, Thomas Fiano.
Yes. Thank you so much, Enoch, and thank you so much, Doreen, your team, and everyone present over here this afternoon. So my task this afternoon is very simple, and I believe most of us once you have been on the alumni platform, or you have been part of the alumni policy, you know at least what a group policy is. The reason I'm saying my task is quite simple this afternoon. So I'll take you through what Grouplife is, who are the target market for Grouplife is, and how we identify the risk. Then, as Enterprise Life, through assured advisors, what we want to present to everybody, to the world. Yeah. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is Grouplife. I mean, what is it? What is a Grouplife? Two words put together make up the concept: a group and a life. So it is a type of insurance in which a single contract covers an entire group of people. Just as we have under the alumni, we have just one contract covering everybody under the alumni. So I heard the Achimota 1994 president giving us a testimony. They have just one product, one policy covering everybody in the group. And a group life is typically owned by an employer covering the employees. Now, there are different types of policies. So you have the term policy, you have the whole life and the rest. A group life is a term policy, meaning that it has a term. Once the term elapses, the policy terminates. You can only renew it for it to come back. So it is not a whole life. You are not taking it toward your lifetime. It is for a term. So 6 months, 1 year. Mostly, I mean, the conventional one is 1 year. Also, we should also understand that group life is typically provided in the form of a yearly renewal, and that is what I've mentioned, that it is a term policy. Now, why is it important that at least wherever you work, if you are an employer or you are an employee, you should let your employer buy the group life for you, or if you're an employer, you need to get a group life for your employee. Reason being that it is required by law that all employers must have a group life in a form for their employees. We'll come down and explain what the solutions are. You understand why we are saying that it is required by law. Secondly, your employees are the greatest asset of your company. You cannot run away from that. Without the employee, there is no company. The reason why it is needed and it is necessary for you to have a group life policy for your employees. Now, knowledge of it improves staff motivation and culture. So for us who have group life in our company, let me take Enterprise Life, for instance. We have a group life. At the end of the year, what they add to make up your remuneration is to also add a line to say that you have a group life covering you yourself at this amount, your wife at this amount, your children at this amount, and your parents at this amount. So once your employees also get to know that they have group life, it improves the staff motivation.
So you just thought you were laughing when I said that.
Yeah. You know, please, I'm having some feedback from Janet. If Janet can mute. Janet, if you can mute your microphone. Thank you. Then also, group life helps the organization attract and retain quality workforce. Imagine Enterprise Life is giving its employees group life, and another company B is not giving, and there is an equal employment facility with Enterprise Life giving group life. Which of them would you want to work for? I have a group life that covers me. I have a group life that covers my wife. I have a group life that covers my children. I have a group life that covers my children. But in company B, they don't provide that. I would prefer to work with Enterprise Life or assured advisors who have this product. And more so, it is very affordable. So all of us on this call have been part of the alumni. If we say we want to strip out for you to take individual policies, the premium you are going to pay individually is going to be very, very hefty. It's going to be very, very high. But when we put all the resources together, when we all come together as a group and we want to take a policy, it makes the premium very affordable. So advantages, as I earlier on started by saying, gives you lower premium. This gives you, I mean, we relax the underwriting requirements. I'll go on to talk about the underwriting requirements. We relax the underwriting requirements. Now, for some assured that individuals may want to take, if you come to us and you say you want to take this sum assured, let's say 100,000 or 200,000, we will want you to go and do some medicals for us to put you on cover, because we don't know the disease or what you are bringing on board. So all these things are relaxed when we come in group to take the group life. Thirdly, for members who otherwise would not have qualified for insurance. In the strictest sense, if you want to take a group, an individual life, the age limit for most companies in Ghana now is 70 years. 70 years. But in group life, the age may vary, the age may be increased, looking at the number of people coming on board. So here, there is a realization of the age limit for people who we want to cover onto group life. Premium shall be determined for the group wholly by the employer, which with contributions from the employees. So two options: either the employer is taking the policy to cover all the employees and pay on their behalf, or the employees will also have to pay a token, okay, to subsidize what the company is also giving. For me, if you should ask me, if you want the best from your employees, if you want your staff to be motivated, the employer should be able to take the cost of the premium for its employee on the group life policy. It is easy to manage, and because look, we know each member in the group, so the element of fraud is eliminated. If we are about 50 on this 90, we are about 98 on this call. If all of us should take this policy, at least somebody knows somebody, somebody knows somebody, somebody. So all of us in a way know each other in the group. It will be very difficult for Mr. A to defraud the group. Unlike individually, you coming to take the policy, I can maneuver and get some death certificates to certify that somebody is passed or my parents are no more. I can get that. But if I am in a group, it is very difficult for me to do that. Okay, so who are the people who can this policy is good for? Companies, as I said. So for us who have companies or who work for companies, we can use this means 2023 to approach through assured advisors your HR or your big men to introduce this policy to the group. Then also groups and association. Here we are not talking about alumni because we have a specific product for alumni. So let's say there is a group of GJA. GJA is a group, right? Ghana Journalists Association. They are a group. We know them. They know each other. We can take this policy for them. GMA, the Ghana Medical Association. They are a group. So we can take this policy for them and other association. But alumni is not covered under this specific group life because we have a specific product for alumni. Then affinity groups, the Airway Association, Piki Association, Kwewu Association, and other associations. This product is also good for them. Then any group do not exist for the purpose of insurance. So here we are saying that we will not put any group on under the group life policy if they just got together or by listening to this presentation, then they go to say, oh, Kofi, you come. Then I'm bringing my friends together, I'm bringing them together and say, we are putting ourselves together to go and take this policy. No, we will not accept such people. So any group that does not exist for the purposes of insurance, we will accept such a group to also take part in the group life policy. Now, our underwriting is a very, 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 simple. what are we intending to cover? The main risk we cover is the risk of loss of employee through death occurring naturally or accidentally. Okay, it is there. Today you are here, tomorrow you are no more. If you're a company, it is a loss to you. You also do not want the family to see that, look, this person has worked so hard. Every morning he's waking up at 6. Every morning he's waking up at 4:30, traveling to work, come back late. And when something happened to that person, the company is not able to support them. It will be a disaster for your company. So the risk of loss of employee through death occurring naturally or accidentally, it is covered under this product. Then the risk of employee having critical illness necessitating treatment. Now, critical illness are now being common, and the doctors call it non-communicable diseases, the cancers. Okay, it is not very rampant in our society. I mean, the cancer. Let me just limit it to the cancers. So the cancers are quite common nowadays. We cover such illnesses under critical illness. Then also the risk of temporal or permanent disability occurring accidentally or naturally. Just recently, we had a case where a gentleman went to the bathroom and slipped and broke the limb. I mean, the right shoulder. This is somebody who went to bath. Everything was okay with him from the morning. Woke up, prayed, went to the bathroom to go and bath, slept, and hurt himself. That we'll consider as a temporal disability, because it is also the right shoulder. This person uses the right shoulder to write and work at work. Use it to work at work. Now, once we detect that that person is not able to use the right limb to work, that qualifies as a temporal disability. Now, there are instances also the person is not able to use any of the limbs to work through accidents or naturally, stroke, whatever it is. We will consider that as a permanent disability and pay the person what it is under the policy. Then the risk of injury or death to employee arising in the course of his or her employment. This is key for we, the marketing people. Most of us do a lot of errands. We go out to go and do presentations. We go out to go and bring cases, businesses and those other things. In the course of this things, you have an accident or you have an injury on the premises of the company you went to do the presentation for. You are covered under the Grouplife policy. Now, with all said and done, what does Enterprise Life through Assured Advisors, our solutions are? All the risks that I've mentioned earlier on. So we talk about natural death, we talk about accidental death, we talk about, I didn't mention spousal cover, but here there is spousal cover on it. So your spouse is also covered on this policy, the Grouplife policy. Likewise, your children, they are also covered under this policy. When it comes to critical illness, it could be described as a disease or state of illness in which death is possible or imminent. So, you know, some of the cancers, most of the cancers, when they come, it is likely that it will take you to the grave. They are covered. We consider it as critical illness, and they are covered under the Grouplife policy. The illnesses covered under critical illness are mainly terminal illness. So if I should get a cancer, I mean, there is little I can do when I go to work. So we consider it a terminal. So we calculate everything and give to you. Now, disability, as I earlier on said, mentioned it, total disability is covered. This is where you've lost all your limbs. You cannot work anymore. We cover you under the Grouplife policy. Then also temporal disability. So you've lost half of your body or through stroke, mild stroke. That you are covered. We give you your benefits. Then medical expenses. So somebody is critically ill and so on and so forth. We'll pay your medical expenses in the anticipation that you get well. The medical expenses are also, a term hospitalization. So we also cover that under the policy. Then accidental or any other causes that result in the temporal or a permanent disability, they are also covered under the policy. Okay, I was talking about medical underwriting or underwriting in general. So medical underwriting are normally not required. Okay, as I explained earlier on, because we are in a group, we are in a pool, we are bringing all the people together to put into the pool to cover them. But individuals whose benefits exceed an automatic cover limit to be determined for the group will be required to submit evidence of good health. So for instance, if the company or your company should say that we want to cover for, say, any other, all officers, let me put it this way, all officers will give them a cover of, say, 100,000. But executive officers of the company, MDs, senior managers, and those other things, we want to give them 200,000. The company, through assured advisors, are going to demand, or is going to demand that we pick samples among the executives to do the medicals, not all of them, just samples to do the medicals. So this is where the flexibility of the medical underwriting and the underwriting in general comes when it comes to group life. All right. Now, what are the main things covered? Workman compensation is covered. So this provides payment up to the chief labor officer's claim recommendation due to injury or disease arising out of an employee's engagement on the job. I earlier on said in my previous 2 slides that permanent disability that results from you being in the course of the work is covered. So we covered it under the workman compensation under the group life policy. And you can find the workman compensation law under the PNDC law 187. The compensation on this provision is not applicable where the incident necessitating the claim is an off-the-job occurrence, but this can be endorsed. So, for instance, if I'm supposed to go and do a presentation at assured advisors, a card has been given to me by the company. Then I also have my side hustle at, let's say, Abekan. And on the route to John, where assured advisors is, I said, oh, let me go and do my papa in Abekan before I rush to Jolu, assured advisors to do the presentation. And you get yourself involved in an accident, you are not covered under workman compensation because you are not in the course of your job. You went to do your papa before rushing to do other things. So you are not covered under this. That we must make clear. So what do we need when we want to put, this policy? We just need the number of the staff or the number of association members that you have. A minimum of 20. That is all we need. Then we need the average age of staff, not individual. So the average age of the staff or the average age of the association members. That is what we need. Then the total annual salary. Or if you belong to let's say Kwewu Association, Kwewu Men Association, at least you know the people who work and the average salary they get at the end of the year. We just need a total of that. Then we need a number of females and a number of males. We need a blend. Somebody may ask, why do you need a number of females and males? It is very important to us because, we call something insurance moral hazard. And it is always believed that men will pass on earlier than our females. So we want to know so we can adjust it and price well in our premium pricing. Now, in my conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Grouplife offers very competitive advantage to a large group of individuals who, under normal circumstances, will have been denied an insurance cover to also benefit from. So, if I take an example of the Kwewu Men Association, this will be mostly people who are traders. We know how we the Kwewus are. We are traders. How am I going to get? I'm not. How do you call it? I am not say officially employed. Let's in governmental areas or in organizations. I do my own job. How will I be able to work, to join, to benefit from insurance? Because in most cases, these insurance companies will come to you and if it is the individual policies, you need to have a bank account from us to take the premiums. I don't have a bank. I just have a bank account for my job. I cannot give my job bank account. How will I be able to benefit from such a product or insurance? This is where Grouplife comes in. The premium, as we earlier on said, is usually borne by the entities or by the association or by the employer. It drives productivity amongst employees and loyalty amongst association. Just imagine that in the Kwewu Men's Association, something happens. And I was watching social media recently, and it was so beautiful. This East Legon executive members at their end of Thanksgiving, if you look at how they do their things, why can't we get them an insurance, a group insurance? Okay, to say, look, if this happens, this is what we are going. It is so beautiful when they go out. It's so beautiful what they do. Amongst those people, there are big men who may not have banks that they want to do individual policies, but they belong to such associations to whom they will be able to get their premiums and sign these policies too. Employers or associations get to choose what benefit level they want. So it is an open thing. Whatever benefit that you want, you can say if somebody should pass on in our group, you want to give that person 100,000. You can say you want to give that person 200,000. Bring the proposal through Assured Advisors, and we'll sit down with you together with Assured Advisors and judge with you and let you know the premium for the association, and if you split it among the members, how much they are going to pay. Standard forms, spousal child benefits are also given on this policy. So it's not just limited to the people in the association or the employees of the company, but also their spouses and also their children. And in addition to that, on top of all this, we also offer through Assured Advisors free medical examination and travel insurance for a number of, for premium that are above a certain amount. We give travel insurance and also medical examination when you are traveling. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Assured Advisors fraternity, this is what we want to introduce to you in 2023, and we believe that in partnering Assured Advisors, we will be able to bring on board our employees. We will be able to bring on board associations that we belong to, who either two may not have heard of insurance before. We want to bring everybody on board so we can enjoy insurance and for the insurance penetration in Ghana to increase. Currently, it is about 1%, and 1% of 3 million population. So the data is telling us that it is just about 300,000 people that have insurance in Ghana. This we can change through Grouplife. So thank you so much. If there are any questions, we will take it.
Very well. Thank you very much, Thomas, for the presentation. I don't want to bore the house with my story. Thomas have touched on the need for the Grouplife policy. One of the key advantage he mentioned is the lower premium. I'm sure most people here have individual premium, and you can compare how much you get when you do the Grouplife premium. You also mentioned there are people who may not be covered because of age or certain health condition. but under the group life policy, you are still covered. He mentioned certain risks that the association may carry, critical illness, death, and other things. But if you come in here, you are covered. We have the spousal cover. You don't join alone. Your spouse is also covered. The solution were grouped into 3 areas: the group life, the critical illness, and the disability. Ladies and gentlemen, these are areas in our life that we cannot escape it. But as human as we are, we have these things. We are prone to some of these things, though we pray for the Maker to guide us through. All right. My producers are ready with the second testimonial. I hope we're going to get a quality sound this time. I came in with only 3 apologies. I've given only 2. I don't intend to give the last apology. So I'm praying the sound works this time. All right. Can we hear the testimonial? I don't know if you can start and increase the volume from the video. Yeah. So let's get feedback. If you can hear from your end, can you write it on the chat box? If you cannot also hear, let's see.
I do Ompari Ado, and I'm representing the Prosec 94-96 year group. Here to share our overall customer experience.
We'll be taking all the questions. You don't worry. Yes, I can hear. Very good. Jacob said he can hear. That's positive.
Hello, my name is Edu Ompari Ado, and I'm representing the Prosec 94-96 year group. Here to share our overall customer experience working with a short. So as a group, we purchased a group funeral policy through short advisors. And I'm more than happy to report that our overall customer experience has been exceptional. Of course, we went into this not having done anything like this before as a group. And the level of transparency right from the beginning, the level of professionalism, you could tell this was a company with a difference. The level of attention to detail, all of these things, through the beginning, up until when we enrolled all our members, was just exceptional. Now, by the end of that year, we had made a handful of claims. In fact, we'd made about 6 claims by the end of the year. And I am more than happy to report that each one of those claims was successful. And the promptness with which payments were made is just unbelievable. It's just a matter of days between the time where we submitted the necessary documents to when we received payments. Now, that's exceptional at every level. There weren't any red tape to cut through, no unnecessary hoops to jump through, and everything just worked as expected. Like I said, the transparency and the confidence that we had as a customer going into this, every time we made a claim, you just knew it was, as long as you had the necessary documents, there were no questions asked. You just got your payment, which is refreshing to see. In fact, many of our members who live are in Ghana, and many of us are also outside of Ghana. And we're all just exceptionally happy with the transparency, the promptness, the professionalism, customer service. These are all just, it blows our minds above and beyond. And so kudos to you, assured advisors. Now, as I said, we started last year. We enrolled 60 members. And this year, so when we went to renew our policy, our numbers went from 60 members to over 120. Now that's a 100% increase. That 100% increase is an estimate unto itself. Speaks volumes about how satisfied our members were. And furthermore, we started off with just a simple one option policy. But this year, as a group, we wanted to meet the needs of some of our members. And so we asked assured advisors to give us a code for a second tier, which paid at a higher level. They listened closely to what our needs were, and they were able to meet what that need was. And so we went into this year with 2 tiers, and who knows, with this level of professionalism, with this level of understanding, attention to detail, who knows what other policies or what other tiers we can come up with in the coming years. But I just wanted to quickly stop by and share our overall experience with anybody who is, or any groups who are out there.
Okay. So we have and maybe see your face. So Ivo, Frank, your hand is up.
Yes.
Doreen and Thomas is here to answer our questions. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, I was on the road, so I got in a bit late. So forgive me if I ask some questions that's quite repeated again.
At your service.
So my first question is to do with, this is supposed to be an alumni group policy. Supposing that I belong to a high school alumni and at the same time belong to a uni alumni, do I benefit from the scheme if I apply to a high school alumni and same time do same to my university alumni? Because my university alumni might not have the same cohort as my high school alumni. So given that I applied through this policy with my high school alumni already, and I have the opportunity to do same for my university alumni, and it's the same company and policy, do I benefit if I'm of good standing? That's my first question. My second question is to do with the age limits to the beneficiaries, especially I think there's something to do with the parents. I want to know. Then lastly, assuming I have one of my beneficiaries located out of the jurisdictionary, as in outside Ghana, do they benefit from the scheme? Those are the 3 key questions I want to ask for now. So assuming I'm putting in place people as my parents to benefit, and I know I have something to benefit from my spouse and kids, but assuming I have a parent, one of them is located outside Ghana, do they qualify for me to register them as my beneficiaries? Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Who is speaking this, Thomas?
Yeah,
I'm picking it. I'm picking it.
Okay.
Okay, so Frank, thank you so much for your question and welcome once again. So your first question, which has to do with joining more than one alumni group. Yes, the group life policy and the alumni policy is a benefit policy, meaning that it doesn't dwell on indemnity. So you can belong to a lot of alumni groups. For instance, your JHS group, your SHS group, and your tertiary group. Once you can afford to pay the premiums, we will accommodate you at Enterprise Life. And so it doesn't matter if you have one group now, talk to the other groups that you belong to, the other alumni groups, and then we would sign you on board. So that's
so that is what I'm saying. Given that I belong to JSS, secondary school, and also uni, let's say 3 for now, yes, and I pay all my premiums respectively. If let's say I'm to benefit from a policy where let's say I lost a parent or any other benefit, and I'm of good standing, the JSS policy will pay me the required benefit, the secondary school will pay me the required benefit, and the uni one will pay me the required benefit. Is that correct?
Yes, please. Yes, please. And this is because the policy, yes, this is because the policy, the contract is between your group and Enterprise Life, which is the insurer. So it is the group we are looking at. So the different groups are all qualified and your claim will be paid separately from each basket and you will be compensated. Then your second question has to do with the age limit, if I'm right.
Yes, that's correct.
Limit. Okay, so the policy, the first person who, or the priority is the member of the group. So the alumni member, and the minimum age is 18 years. You know, because of the legal implication, we cannot have any contractual agreement with anybody below the age of 18 years. And the maximum age at entry is 70 years. So it means that at inception, any member should be below 70 years. But as the policy continues, the lifespan of the policy, as you grow, we will continue with you once you meet our requirements at inception. That is for the member. And then the spouse. So same for member and spouse. And then we have the adult dependent. The adult dependent, you have the maximum age is 80 years. So whoever you're choosing to be your adult dependent must be below the age of 80 years. And whoever you are nominating as your adult dependent shouldn't be less than 31 years. So for someone to qualify as your parent, it means that the person should be old enough, but shouldn't be more than 80 years at inception, also at inception. So that is for your second question. Now for your third question, that has to do with the geographical location of your adult dependent. I rightly said in answering your second question that the policy is for the group and the member is the priority. Nevertheless, the adult dependent that you are covering on the policy, for us, we do not have a direct contract with them, but they are benefits of the policy because you belong to the alumni group. And so wherever they belong or wherever they live, you can have them on board because the policy says that whoever you know that the person will be affected or you will be affected financially if the person dies, that person qualifies to be your adult dependent. Ideally, your parents. In the absence of your parent, you can bring your parent-in-law. In the absence of your parent-in-law, you can bring a guardian or whoever you think that if the person goes off or dies, you'll be affected financially. Hence, if the person finds himself outside Ghana, once you can provide the death claim requirements, which is the medical cause of death or death certificate, we would issue the claim and then the insurance company will admit the claim and pay. And so I don't know if, Frank, you are okay with my answers, please.
Thank you so much. I missed the name, but thank you. You're on point.
Doreen. The name is Doreen.
Doreen. So lastly, because I missed most part of your presentation, is there a way I can have a contact or drop an email so that they can send me some details on the presentation? But I think my key questions around the have been answered perfectly. So I just want to see the details of the benefit. If I can drop an email or somebody can contact me on the side, I'll be grateful.
Okay, thank you. In the chat box, we are putting the contacts there, but you can visit www.assureadvisors.com. And there's a live link that someone will pick it up and engage you on. But we will drop the contacts in the chat box so that you can have a one-on-one session with us if you need any.
Thanks, Dorian and team. I'm very grateful.
I need to.
All right, so Frank, we are happy we've been able to satisfy you. So I've seen Legacy Focus. Sorry, if you can unmute yourself and tell us maybe your name, Legacy Focus.
Yeah, hi, Kwame here.
Kwame?
Yeah. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Okay. I don't know if you can speak louder a bit. It's difficult hearing you, sir.
One moment, let me take you up.
Fantastic. So you can proceed, sir.
Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Okay.
All right. Kwame, I think you may need to. Kwame, your network is not favorable. I think you can use the chat box.
Hello. Because
hello, Kwame.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, it's better now.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that I am part of Amanfo. I am a Prempeh College alumni. And we of the 99-year group have benefited from the alumni policy. And so for me, it's awesome. What you guys are doing is awesome. My question, however, is the policies are renewable on a yearly basis. So if today my dad is 78, I take up the policy, I renew it next year, she's 79. The following year, I renew it, she's 80. Is he then cut off? Or is there a chance you could perhaps extend it beyond a year so we could take up maybe a 10-year policy so that they are covered and there is no fear of losing that cover after 2 years for your parents?
Okay. All right. So I think we can take 3 questions so that I bring in the resource persons. That will be fine. All right. So Doreen, will you want to take note of this question? All right. Okay. So do you have another hand up? Please unmute yourself. I can't see.
Do you want me to answer or should wait?
Yeah, I wanted to take another question so that we can move faster. All right. So there's no hand up.
My hand is up.
Talking?
My hand is up. Hello,
sorry.
My hand is up.
Sorry. Please speak out.
All right. This is Jane. Thank you for the presentation. I wanted to find out, since the policy is timely, assuming my group, we do subscribe to it, and at the end of the year, there's no benefit, like nobody has any issue. What happens with all our contributions for the year?
Okay. All right. So Doreen, you can take the 2.
Okay. Okay, please. So the first question that has to do with the adult dependent aging as the policy is being run. I said earlier that at inception, we look at the maximum ages if you met the requirement at inception. However, this policy is an annual renewable policy. And so every year we look at the policy, and if we have to add some people, we do, and then you pay your premiums. Now, if at inception, your member, for instance, was 79 years and qualified, and 3 years down the line, the member is now 82 years. Because the adult dependent or the member met the requirement at inception, we will not take them off as long as the policy is being renewed annually. So that the key thing is that we have to ensure that all the lives that we are bringing on board meet the requirements at inception. That is the first answer to your question. Then the second one has to do with a cashback. Unfortunately, the alumni policy doesn't run on the cashback because it is not a term policy, a whole life policy. It's a renewable policy. And so if every year you don't have a claim, we do not give you anything back, because sometimes the claim alone can wipe out the premium that you paid. And remember, this policy is a risk policy. We can't tell. It's running on uncertainty. So if we give you a cashback today and tomorrow, 10 people come to claim, are you going to return our cash back to us? So unfortunately, it is not a cashback policy, unlike the individual life policy, which is a whole life policy. And so if you do not claim for a long time, you can go and get something from the insurance company.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe on a lighter note, Thomas, someone wants to find out, let me see if I can get a name now. I'm in the chat box now. Someone said you use the word papa. Is it an insurance term? Okay, but before that, maybe Kweku also want to be sure whether these two companies, Assured Advisors and Enterprise Life, if you are strong enough, you are liquid enough to underwrite all such claims. So you want to be sure, do you have enough money to pay? So he needs that assurance. Let me see if I can add a third question. Can I add a third question, sir?
Please go ahead. Okay,
so a bit of some legal perspective here. So can you explain the difference between common law extension and the to and fro from workman's compensation?
Hello, Enoch. All right, can anyone hear me? Enoch seems to be having a challenge.
Thomas, we can hear you, please.
All right, so
all
right. I think let me whilst Enoch is trying to join, let me take the first one on the claims, whether we are liquid enough to pay claims. I want to assure everyone on this call that Enterprise Life is so liquid, extremely liquid, to pay any claim at any time. The reason I'm saying is this. On a monthly basis, we pay not less than 55 million across all our claims. So when it comes to the individual payments, the benefit payments, the death claims, the group life, not less than 55 million every month. So multiply that by 12, and you know that the amount of claims we pay each year. So Enterprise Life is so liquid. The reason why we can underwrite alumni, the reason we'll be able to underwrite any other policies that we want to bring on board. We started banker assurance, others followed. We started a funeral policy, others followed. Group life, others followed. So we are pioneers when it comes to insurance. So everybody on this call must be assured that when it comes to claim, and the testimonial bears witness, the gentlemen who came to give the testimony bear as witness. As for the claims, once they come, documents are ready, documents are verified, we go ahead and pay. On the bit of the common law explanation on the workman compensation. Now, I am not a lawyer and I don't assume to be one too, but our understanding when it comes to insurance is that the workman compensation kicks in when you are doing the job for which you have been told to go and do, and you get yourself hurt, period. Now, one may ask, the example I gave, the question then will be that, how will we know if I was using Abeka to go and do my presentation? That is for the labor officer to determine, not enterprise life. That is why it is the workman compensation is administered by the labor officer under the employment ministry. They will adjudicate on all these things. They come back to us and say, this is it. The person going through Abekan to go and make the presentation actually was in the course of employment going to do the job. So we should pay. We don't have any problem with that. So that is my simple explanation on the common law explanation on the workman compensation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Frank, is it the same question? I'm reading something from you from the chat box.
No. So I have
a different
follow-up question. So if can accommodate me, I'll go.
Okay, once you are in, please drop it.
Okay, so the first one is to do with, assuming I start with 50 members today, as in January, and let's say subsequently, I have other members that are now connecting to the alumni group. They want to be part of it. How do we accommodate them and how do their policy guidelines affect them? Then secondly, I wanted to find out, given that the premium is renewed annually, given I started with, let's say, beneficiaries today, especially, I think the case and spouse will not change, but probably the adults beneficiary. Is it possible along the line I could change them? How do the policy apply to? Assuming, let's say, I started with one elderly person, maybe subsequently, given our relationship, I don't want the person to benefit from that again. So probably when the policy expires and we are renewing, is there a possibility of replacing the adult person if, so far as they fall within the policy age brackets? Thank you.
Okay. Doreen, are you handling that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, Frank. Your first question, the policy is an annual renewable policy. Now, the reason we make, the reason why it's an annual renewable policy is that there are certain adjustments or certain things we want to do at renewal. And one of the key things is because of members who did not join at inception, maybe after claims have been paid and they are sure that this policy is true and genuine and it works, they want to join, we'll do that. However, the minimum number of the requirement for having this policy is 20. So as your question rightly said, if you have 15 members from beginning, and let's say you signed in January and February, 10 members want to join, we cannot add them to the existing policy that has already been run because the existing policy has a date and an expiry date. And so we take our time to make sure we do the presentations, let the group have enough and adequate information so that all members can decide, vote on a day and start the policy. However, in certain circumstances that we have more than 50 people, let's say 100 people who are a next set of batch that wants to start, we can look at it and give maybe probably a batch A and a batch B. But that one would depend on the numbers we have. We won't have two batches running in the same group. So we won't have probably ABSU 87, 89, having batch A and batch B with only 20. We are not going to do that. We will only have that at renewal when then 20 or 10 people want to join the existing policy. And so that is for your first question. Now, the second question, if I'm right, had to do with, can you help me?
The second has to do with, assuming, I think the first one you took was to do with new members joining.
Yes.
The second is to do with if after the first, let's say, I start with a group of people and let me use my individual, my beneficiary, more with respect to the adult beneficiaries. Assuming after this year, so let's say January next year, we are renewing the policy. And I go like, oh, whoever I use as my guardians for adults, whatever, I want to replace them. Is that possible?
Good. Thank you. So the policy, the members of the policy is the alumni member first, the alumni member spouse, and then adult dependent. Now, the adult dependent ideally is parents.
Yes.
And we cannot attest, you can only have 2 sets of parents. You can't have a different mother and a mother A and mother B. No, your parent is your parent. So we are saying in the absence of your parent, bring your parent-in-law. However, if you do not have a parent-in-law, you can bring an uncle. So for us in our books, if you bring an uncle, we assume the uncle is a father. So you must be sure at inception of who you are nominating, because your father can't be your father today and not be your father tomorrow.
Exactly.
So whoever you choose to be your
remains permanent.
Yes, and that is why initially I said we are looking at the person that if the person dies will affect you financially, ideally your parents. So a lot of thinking has to go into this before you select, because we won't allow you to make changes. The reason because we don't want you to come to us when a doctor has told you you are going to lose an auntie in 6 months, and so you want to now know. The group life policy or insurance is run on risk and uncertainties, not certainty. So if you are sure that the person will go and quickly you want to come, no, it's not based on gamble. Yes, please.
Thanks for the clarification. I think it was quite essential to know. Thank you.
Okay, so Kweku is concerned. 3 questions from Kweku. So number 1, is there a minimum number of claims at a specific period? Number 2, what will happen if the number of claims exceed premiums collected? Then the last one, do we know what is the optimum claim number or the maximum claim number? All right, Doreen?
Yes. Okay, so first of all, I like what my colleague Thomas said. Enterprise Life has the capacity to pay 55 million claims in a month. And so this policy has the ability to accommodate the claims, eligible claims. Now, if you have a group and you have 20 members as the minimum number of people in the group, remember that each member has a number of covers. The person has a cover for himself as a member, 1. He has a cover for his spouse. He has a cover for critical illness. He has a cover for permanent disability. And then he has a cover for 2 adult dependents. So that is the number of covers each member is entitled to. Now it's a basket. The whole insurance is a basket. So it means that if it's running on risk basis and uncertainty, we can't come and tell you that this year you would lose a father and you lose a wife. No, but however, touch wood, if it happens, it is our job to pay the claim once you have paid your premium, because the promise we gave you was that pay your premiums and we'll pay the claim. And so we do not have a specified number of claims for each member. No, it is a risk that we are covering. So if it happens and you meet the requirement and your claim documents are correct, we will pay. We have situations where a member has claimed on his mother and then he had a critical illness claim himself. So that is 2 claims for 1 person. That is how the policy runs. And so we will pay. Now you asked a certain question of the premium, the claim being more than the premium. I can tell you based on experience that we pay claims to groups that have paid probably 20,000, but in a year, they are claiming like 50,000. If we realize that the claim is becoming too much, for instance, in a particular group, instead of claiming, let's say below 50%, we have paid about between 70 to 80 claims. We will not repudiate the claim, but just that our attention will be on the group. We want to see the claim ratio of the group, and then we will advise. If we have to revise their premiums the following year, we will. But if we don't have to revise, we will continue. But we will not repudiate the claims based on that, because this is a risk policy. And we are not to tell you when somebody should die and when somebody should get sick, please.
Okay. John, policies is renewable, right? So if a contributor unfortunately it's a new one, of course. So why don't you allow me to add a new parent? Because I'm paying new premiums.
You went off a bit. Can you repeat the question again?
The duration for this group life policy is renewable. Then if a contributor's parent dies, he or she should have the right to replace the deceased parent. Thomas, are you taking this, sir?
Yeah, so I just want to repeat what Doreen mentioned earlier on, that we are in a group, and it is true that one parent may have died and you want to replace. But remember, the policy is termly, and it is renewable at the end of a period. Yes, so at the end of the period, if you want to replace that person, I mean your father who is passed on with a guardian, it is allowable. We can accommodate that. But not when perhaps during the term of the policy, my father passes on, then within the term, I want to replace my father. That will not allow. But at renewal, you can come with a guardian who may be your uncle, as Doreen mentioned, to replace your deceased father.
All right, thank you very much, Thomas. What is the minimum number of people before you can buy this policy? Someone is asking again.
A minimum of 20. So we need a minimum of 20 people to start with.
Okay. I'm not reading some questions because it's been answered. So please forgive me if I don't read your question. But Michael also wants to find out, please, can Ghanaians group located in UK take this group policy? If yes, how will it work?
Yeah, so it is a good question. We have tailored and made a product called Aquintupa for Ghanaians living abroad. So if I can have the person's detail, I'll engage him or her after the program and introduce him or her to the Aquintupa product. But our alumni product is just used for people who are residents in Ghana.
Thank you, sir. So we still have other solutions that can take care of this. So please, let's connect after here. Okay, we know we cannot have this discussion without going to the barbering shop. Someone is asking, knowing the history of insurance companies and government bonds, and at this time of haircuts, how safe is the alumni policy? Will the benefit also take some haircuts? So we are in the barbering shop, the economic barbering shop. Are we going to be affected? Thomas, we need some assurance from you.
Again, I am assuring all our partners. We call you partners because we are in this together with you. The assurance from Enterprise Life and Assured Advisors is that nothing of your contribution, whatever we have promised you that we are going to give you when the rates falls due, we are going to give you. So rest assured, Enterprise Life, we will honor every claim that comes to us. That's assurance to them, Enoch.
Okay, thank you very much. So you don't have any seizures at Enterprise Life?
Not at all.
All right, so, okay, so do you have yearly adjustments in terms of the premium, something like updates on this policy?
Yeah, so I believe you can see Doreen smiling. It is one of the things that we want to introduce. And before we introduce this, it will come with a lot more upgrades. But before we put in the upgrades, we'll come to all our partners, throw some questionnaires to them for them to tell us what they want on the current policy so that we can do the update. We just don't want to do the updates in piecemeal. So we want, premium escalation. This year we do premium escalation. Next year we want, say, cashback. Then another year we want something else. We want to come back to our partners to ask them, what will we run this thing for a year and a few months? what do you think we can add on to the policy to make it more viable, to make it more interesting to you? Once we get this, we'll come back in-house and work on it and get back to them. So they should rest assured next year, by the time we have this seminar again, we should have some good news for them.
All right. So Thomas, you can't run away from the first question. It's a very important question from Eric. I don't want Eric to be angry. Eric is asking once again, what is PAPAPA? Is it an insurance term? Please.
Eric, PAPAPA is not insurance, but now, look, everybody is doing PAPAPA. You can't do, if you don't do PAPAPA, you can't survive in Ghana. So PAPAPA is your side hustle, and those are the, that's what I mean by PAPAPA.
Ericus, I hope you are safe now.
I am okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, so Gertrude is asking a question. I don't know whether it's direct to Doreen or it has a background. So the question is, what will happen if our group falls short of numbers because we've lost members and therefore do not meet their criteria? Is it after the policy has been taken or before? And she's also adding we should add something to abroad and add me, Gertrude, to those abroad. Gertrude, if you can unmute yourself and give us some clarity, or Doreen, Thomas, you can handle that.
I get her question. Is a question that a lot of people ask. And
okay.
So, for instance, what she's saying is that if they start with 20 and 5 years down the line, they lose their members, and then probably they lose like 2 or 3, and the number reduces to 17. Will we insist that they should top up to meet the 20, or we are ready to continue? Yes, we will not insist that you should get new members because you met the criteria at inception. However, if it's due to losing members as a result of death, we will have the records. And so we will know that 3 members kicked the bucket along the line. We would advise that you should talk to other members who are not part of the policy to join. We will advise. That will be our first advice to you, that you should go and talk to people to do. But if you can't get it, we will not stop the cover. We will continue, please.
Okay, before you go, Doreen, my mom is 88, so she can't be part of the group insurance, right?
Unfortunately, your mom can't be part, but we have an individual life policy from Enterprise Life, which is the unlimited funeral cover. And it covers from adult dependents who are 80 years to 100 years. But remember, that is a monthly premium policy. And so, I mean, Karen is online. You can send a message to her and she would help you to sign your adult dependents who are above 80 years, please.
Okay, all right. So you can unmute yourself if you still have some question, and please, you can share.
Can I ask?
Okay. Yes, Kwame.
Okay. Thanks, Doreen. Fantastic answers. The first question then goes to, if you are part of an alumni association where you've set up one of these alumni policies, you probably don't have enough numbers, but then again, you have spouses that would want to join. Say Prempeh College, as you know already, like I said earlier, is the best college in Ghana. And so your spouse probably is an Akora, which is not exactly a very good school. And so they don't exactly have a firm alumni association to be able to come up with their own policy. In that case, can you then have your spouses join the amount for to be members as well or not? The second one refers to those of us abroad. I know the alumni one, the one that we have, some of us are not in Ghana, and yet we are all members of the policy. You get me? So why would we even want to bother with the, what was it, Aquin 4, something like that policy, when the alumni is there to serve that purpose?
Okay. Kwame, thank you. As for Prempeh College being the best, I don't want to talk about that, but question. Now, the alumni policy is, as the name implies, it's an alumni policy. So it's for old school year groups. However, if you do not have the members up to 20, but your spouses want to join, what we can do for you is the Grouplife, the basic Grouplife policy, but not the alumni. We will take their data, add your spouse to it, and then price you based on the risk. But we can't have you on alumni because we know Prempeh College is a boys' school. But if it was a mixed school, like Ghana National College, we wouldn't be able to tell that it's spouse. So maybe that it can suffice. But for Prempeh College, we know it's a boys' school. So you can't have members being female. So that's for the first question. Now, the reason why you may need an Akwentupa policy, the alumni policy is for your old school year groups. The Akwentupa is not for old school year, but it's like a group life policy, but for members who have their group in the diaspora. So if you have the group, for instance, and the group is in London or it's in America, it is not an alumni group, but it's probably a group of Ghanaians living in America. You can have that as well. The reason why I think if you can afford an Akwentupa policy, you should go ahead and do it is because with insurance, the risk is one. And if the risk will happen once and you can claim multiply, I mean, what stops you? You can do it because once the risk occurs, you can take in this basket and take in another basket. That is the beauty of life insurance. And so I think you know what to do.
Okay, so in that case, we are not stopped from having the alumni one, even though we are based, let's say, in the UK, because Prempeh College Association UK is the biggest one, right? And so if we want to have our own policy with yourselves on the alumni side, not the Akwentupa, maybe we may decide to add the Akwentupa as an extra. Can we carry on with the alumni one?
Yeah, you're not stopped because the alumni is Prempeh College. Yeah. And so you have members in Ghana and some in the UK mixed, you understand? And so that one, but you can have the Akwentupa because the Akwentupa also has very huge sums assured. So you can have that as a plan B in addition to the alumni fees, once you can afford it. Prempeh College, once upon a time, used to be a mixed school, but that was when it was behind the market. But now I think that place is no longer a market, so it's only a boys' school.
Hey, Doreen, we don't want to start any battle,
you know.
Okay.
Okay. Can I ask a question? And thanks very much for the presentation and the answers that have been provided so far. I have a question. So, I mean, the answer just that was, I mean, Doreen gave, she indicated that you could make multiple claims, or I mean, when the same event occurs, if you have more than one package. I want to know whether the same will apply when it's an insurance, another insurance policy that is not for enterprise insurance, that is outside enterprise insurance. Because quite often insurance companies will quickly take the premium, but will find 1,001 reasons not to honor it. And you usually will have a question, is this covered by another insurance policy? I just want to know whether this applies here or it's different. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, the reason why when you take an insurance policy, they ask you whether you have an insurance elsewhere, especially with general insurance. General insurance, like the insurance we do for our motor, our buildings, and all that, relies on a principle called indemnity. Now, the principle of indemnity states that we should not place you above where we found you when you were doing the insurance. So for instance, if you buy your car and you're telling us your car is 100,000, upon claim, you shouldn't get more than 100,000, meaning you cannot also do more than one insurance. You can't claim here and claim here. That is why for that, you have to do only with one insurance company, unless in the issues of co-insurance and all that, but I don't want to go into that. When it comes to life insurance is a benefit policy. In the cases of general insurance, you can look at a car and value it, right? You can say, my Range Rover is worth $500,000 or whatever it is. But with life insurance, you can't tell somebody that his leg or his hand is worth 100,000. You can't do that. So if the person places a value on himself and says that I want to insure part of my life with Enterprise Life, I want to insure my other life with a part of that other life with another insurance company, because for me, there is no value on my life. It's an ending. It's allowed. And that is why with life insurance, you can have more than one policy, be it with the same insurance company or be it with multiple insurance companies, and they have to admit the claim and pay. And so there are two different principles when it comes to life insurance and then general insurance. I hope you're fine now.
Very well, and you're on record, so it's fine.
Enoch, please.
Saying, please, can you list which illnesses qualify as critical? So we mentioned critical illness. Can you be very specific on that? And so what relate to disability?
So cancers, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Thomas.
Yeah, so cancers are one. All the types of cancers you can mention. So mainly the cancers and the strokes, they are considered as critical illnesses. The disabilities are losing your limbs through accidents. Okay, your leg is broken, your limbs are broken. So when it comes to the disabilities, once it can be confirmed that you will not be able to use your limbs, your 4 limbs to work, we consider is a permanent disability. So all the cancers, all the heart diseases, the liver diseases, and all those are considered as critical illnesses.
Thank you, Thomas. Eric will want to ask a question on claims.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Eric, we can hear you.
Okay, so because of an experience we had in our group, I would like to be a bit specific that when we are making claims, we should be very specific about the documents you require. We had a colleague who was making claims, but the write-up from the doctor wasn't well written. So some of the times the doctors feel you're going to have a huge sum of money.
Unmute yourself.
I've unmuted myself. I've unmuted myself.
Hi,
Eric, we can hear you.
Yes. So I was saying that it took a long time before the benefit for critical illness was paid to the recipient. So I'm just saying that you should be specific with the kind of documents you need to have to fast track payment of claims. And the second one is there was this question from another member on the platform that stated that if he's registered on 3 platforms and there is a claim for an individual or a parent, and Doreen answered that all will be paid. I am thinking it depends on the package that pertains to each grouping. So it wouldn't be that if I have registered for a member and there is no parent on the platform, when a parent passes on, then they'll honor that claim. That was where I wanted to be specific about the claim payments on that issue. These are 2 questions I have. The documents you require and also the kind of package you assign to a group. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. So you are right on the document. It is very important that when we are making the claim, we will have the right document. So if the person should die at the hospital, the first thing we do is we ask for is for the doctor who last saw him or her to do a medical report of cause of death. That will suffice. If the doctor is not able to do it, and we take the person to the morgue, most times, before you even take the person from the morgue, they ask for police report. The police, once you get a police report, it is also a good to go. And there are instances that none of these 2 is available. Now, what we demand is that in the church that the person belongs to, the person is a Christian, definitely the person will belong to a church. Can the pastor or the reverend minister over there write a testimonial to confirm that truly this person belongs to the church and he passed on so and so date, and these are the family? We will also accept that. But in all this, you should also add the ID, the national ID of the person who passed on, and you yourself, the claimant, your ID. These are the things that we demand. So we will work with Assured Advisors, do a simple flyer for you, and list all the documents that we need in each of the circumstances and share with all of us. So all of us will have that at the back of our mind. The second one that you mentioned is very true. So if I should cover myself and my father on one yearbook, I went to Maoli school. If I should cover my father on Maoli school, I went to Tech. I went to, I was in the university hall. We have one. And on the university hall one, I just covered myself. If my father should pass on, I will just be giving the claim on the OMSU, the Maoli one, not the Katanga one, because I've not covered him on the Katanga one. So that must be made clear. So once you cover, the only time we pay the claim for your father is when you cover your father on all the groups, that associations that you belong to. So I belong to OMSU. I covered my father there. I belong to CAT 90 2003. I covered my father over there. I belong to another association. I cover him over there. If he should pass away, all these three claims will be paid. But if I should cover him just on one, at one association platform, it is just one benefit that will be given me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hello, Thomas.
Another. Are you, Eric? Is there a follow-up question?
Yes. So
or you are
everybody is mentioning the